Chatting to Gavin Fenter about the Tara LAING runners, and before we get started, just to wish Tara herself a belated very, very happy birthday, and I know Gav spoilt her, so she'll be happy. The yards start in race 3 with 3 runners, and Gav, let's start with Karoo Magic.
Yeah, she's got a problem, so we went to the poly for 2 months and we opted to give the poly a miss, and she could need it, but she can run a place.
She'll be joined by All I Need Is You.
All I Need Is You is still racing very green. Her last start very, very green, so we've opted to give her another run at the straight just for the experience. Could maybe run a place.
And Kilmonivay is back in action.
Kilmonivay, very good first run, disappointing last run, but she didn't pull up too well, and after that also we opted to give the poly a miss, for 2 months, and lucky as Tara's also, we didn't have to explain to owners, and I worked her the other morning. She's still quite green. She could run a place, but she's a nice filly and she'll need 1 or 2 runs for the experience.
We move to race 4 where we will see Buttercup. I really enjoy this filly. You always know that she's going to give you an honest run.
Yeah, her best distance is definitely on the poly, 12, 13, that's 14, maybe that's her best. But there are very few races for this type of filly, so we've opted to run her. Yeah, she could run a place.
Next up, race 5, Arverni Warrior.
Arverni Warrior didn't take to the poly at all. He hated it, and he hasn't got the best of action, so that makes sense. But they've dropped his rating a little bit, and we've opted to run him. Yeah, he might have been better over 1200, but he could at best run a place.
In race 6, Cavian's Cara will run, and Gav, prior to the break that she'll race off on Friday, she had started to show good improvement.
Also, didn't like the poly at all, and we were 2 months on the poly, so we had to give her a break and not run on the poly. She's back on the grass, would have been better over a bit further, but she could run a place.
We move to race 7, where this fellow that joins us in pick, Waiting for Summer, will step out. He's looking fantastic, and Gav, I know you're excited about him because his merit rating has finally started to fall.
Yeah, it's going to rain. It's going to rain. The handicappers do a very good job, but this horse purely wasn't running off his rating. Let's take Razor Red last week. He just wasn't running off his rating. He eventually drops to where he's competitive and he wins. And the same was Al Magvar. He ran a place not even a place in the Derby. He got penalised, and he dropped back to where he was, and then he won. So yeah, horses do perform off a rating that they can run off, and this horse wasn't running off his rating. It was obvious. But he's dropped 2 kilos. I've always thought he's going to be a high 79, low 80. He's now in 81. This horse will now start running better and performing better, because I think he's now where he belongs.
Finally, in race 8, Colorama, and she never disgraces herself.
Yeah, sadly, she was badly drawn in 3 fillies and mares races, and this is against the Colts. It's not really the right race, but it does belong to Tara. And we're just taking our chances, but she would have been better against the fillies and mares.
There you have it, lots of runners to take note of, and definitely a couple with chances.